How'd you make out shopping that night? How'd you make out shopping that night?
Great.
It's all good. Yeah, I was here. Well, I'm taking it easy, sir. All right.
Yeah, you can, trying to recognize you.
Jeff Holt.
Good. That's my surgeries and stuff. Now, how do I know you?
Parks and Rec.
Okay, your wife was here.
Yep. So wife is alcohol. She's on Twin Valley.
She had race issues with respect to Zoom, the issues Zoom. And within 30 days, I went in personal expenses. I like to do Parks and Rec. I like to. Beauty of that is we were having trouble tracking their phone.
Yeah. Again, common sense is effect.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. We hope.
Well. You don't have to. It's painful, but it is what it is.
Hey, that's good. Good, right? Never know moment. Are you in charge now?
I am.
Well, there goes the township. How you been? Keeping out of trouble?
Oh yeah.
No, you're not. Come on.
Yes, I am. I promise.
Okay,
I'm a good kid.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. What grade are you in now? I forget.
9.
Holy cow. Dude, like every time I see kids, they're like 10 times the size of kids that I knew growing up. Like everybody's got huge kids. Yeah, I'll send you,
Right.
Hey, Tom. Hey,
Oh, that's interesting.
Mark, already did that. Already did it.
So I could, like, pass them around.
Fair enough. Just not sure.
Well, he is. Of course. Of course.
Jennifer.
Good evening, everyone.
Township.
Evening, Gene.
Which, I don't know the whole charter. I don't need to know.
Hey,
Okay, how are you?
good, how are you?
I'm signing that.
So I should have two.
Gotcha.
Like those kind of, you know, family or friends feel.
You have the plate as well, Jeff? You need the,
Yeah.
I didn't know if there's one still sitting there.
Oh, dang it, I guess.
All yours.
You bounce with it. They're kids.
Hello, how are you? You got your email all right? Don't recognize you. All right.
That would make sense. That block.
All right, call to order the Robeson Township Board of Supervisors Workshop Meeting for February 8th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, citizens' concerns. Name and address, please.
Robert Forst, 1339 Old River Road. Our concerns are the speed limit on Old River Road, the 35-mile-an-hour posted speed limit. When there's traffic backed up on 724, we have a lot of traffic along Old River Road. I personally clock vehicles in excess of 50 miles an hour at my house. I've also clocked vehicles in excess of 62 miles an hour down the road at Joe Johns' house on the flat. Now, what our concerns are is children, bicyclists, people walking with dogs. I personally have told a person with my hand to slow down, he aims his vehicle at me. That would not be a good situation. Also, people have wanted to fight with various people when they said, hey, look, how about slowing down? With the bridge going to be worked on out here and traffic going to be rerouted to Old River Road, both east and westbound, is going to be a problem, a big problem. So we're requesting it maybe do a study to have the speed limit lowered to 25 or put rumble strips in.
Chief, you have something to say to that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can, we can do a study and work with engineers to see if dropping it to 25 is feasible. My comment, like I've commented numerous times about the signs, if they would obey the signs, they'd be obeying the 35, to begin with. So it's however the board would like us to proceed. We can pump up enforcement on Old River. What they're saying is very true. What Mr. Horst is saying is very true. Problem is when the traffic backs up, say it's relative to an accident or some kind of incident on 724, what the problem is there is most likely the officers on duty are tied up as well for that incident. So therefore that's a hard time for them to be there enforcing. So that's a problem with that. That is on our radar. We have concerns for when they do close 724 for the speed. In fact, I've already addressed it with my department that we are going to have to give Old River Road special attention. Also the weight restriction on the bridge, with truck traffic. That's also going to be another major concern of ours. And that's something that I've already discussed with Exeter since they have the scales. I'm a weight master, but Exeter has the scales. So there are things that I'm already working on, planning for that, to be a little bit proactive rather than reactive. But his concerns are very valid. I will say that. So we can, step it up when we have time to get out there, do a little bit more enforcement. And, but like I said, the problem with that is if it's backed up because of something we're working on, we can't be there as well. So that poses an issue.
There's lines painted on that road, are there?
Yeah, we painted lines. Mr. Horst had contacted me before.
Yeah, they were painted at my house, they have worn off.
Yeah, I say they have to, I even said they have to be
You've
retouched.
sat in my parking lot already.
Yeah.
So we can maybe touch up the lines and then get on some of the enforcement and see if the situation gets any better. Does that sound logical?
Yep.
Let me ask you, other than when traffic is backed up,
Yeah,
is there times that are worse than others, like
Yeah.
that I could focus patrol on?
About 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
between 4 and 5.
Okay, and what you would say that they're not people that are residing on Old River Road, they're people that are trying to cut through to get out of the light?
To get out of the light.
Okay, so if I was gonna focus my patrols, I should be aiming for that 4 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
How about the morning commute?
In the morning, sometimes around, 6:30, 7 o'clock, when the school buses come? Because we have an individual with a blue light that has also activated her light system to go around a school bus, while the school bus had the stop sign out.
Yeah, I actually think I heard that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent you a video.
Yeah.
Because
I was aware of that. Yeah,
her vehicle should be registered with the state police for her blue light.
yeah.
I know mine is.
very good. That's what we can do, keep tabs, you know.
Also, if you look at section 212-405 regulatory speed limits, it says a regulatory speed limit up to 10 miles an hour below the normal speed limit may be established without an engineering or traffic study, provided the reduced regulatory speed limit is at least 25 miles an hour. Regulatory speed limits less than 25 miles an hour or more than 10 miles an hour below the normal speed limit require an engineering and traffic study prior to approval of the department's, department for state designated highways. But that is for temporary traffic control too. So since the bridge will be worked on in 724, it could be a temporary regulatory thing for Old River Road, just temporarily while the bridge is being repaired too.
Yeah, that's something the board can discuss, you know, if they want to do that, but I would honestly suggest that they, you know, consult with the solicitor and the engineer as well.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's been some other, you know, concerns with other areas, and it's interesting, like the engineer brought some things to my attention that you
Yeah.
can and can't do.
But actually, under this one section of 17-3, it says that the roadmaster, police officer, can do a study without an engineering from the state.
We wouldn't do it for the state anyway, that's local.
Right, that's local.
Yeah, so we wouldn't do it for the state regardless.
Right.
You still have your speed board?
Yeah, we actually just pulled, we had it up on Chestnut Hill Road, and we just pulled it to recharge the batteries.
That'd be
But,
I mean, that works over at Exeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to see what we have for signage to post it, but we could throw that up there.
I'll do a study for you as well.
Well, that-
I'll give you a readout.
For one direction.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you know, a lot of times, so what we have is we have a radar gun, and obviously we cannot use that in enforcement as municipal, but what's nice about that is I can tuck an officer in an area when we wanna do a study, or have to do a study, and use that, so that way we can get both directions. Nice thing about the speed sign, like, the direction that they're talking about in the afternoon, I'm assuming most of the traffic is eastbound traffic.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, so obviously I wanna put that on the eastbound side. And we can tap in with our phones and put out a spreadsheet, and that will also target. So, you know, that's a very good possibility, we'll throw that up. I just have to see what we have for signs, see if we have a sign that we can actually install it on, which I'm sure probably, if you'd be surprised, some of the roads we haven't, so.
Good, so we'll discuss that a little more then.
Yeah, I can, what I'll do is, you know, our next meeting's on the 20th, I don't know if that'll be enough time, but I would say I'll report back on that next
Okay.
month.
Okay.
If that's okay with the board?
Yeah.
And then just keep in touch with me.
Alright.
Name and address, please.
Carl Steve, 100 Main Street. Has anybody verified the speed limit signs or where they belong and posted adequately?
I do not verify it.
I mean, wouldn't that be the first step?
Again, so
Can't enforce it if you don't have it adequately posted.
we'll have to look at it. And I will say that before they do speed enforcement, they always verify the signs, because signs get stolen. So,
Any other public comment?
We're here for the same thing.
Yeah, same, I mean, the other, I guess last week when it was backed up, I back in across the street from my house at 1429, the very beginning, and the guy behind me was in such a hurry, almost sideswiped me, going around me in the opposite lane of traffic. You know, so they're in a hurry to get to that traffic light.
Yeah.
So somebody's gonna either get killed or, you know,
Or in an accident or something, yeah.
there are a lot of kids on that street, so.
I'll do next.
Okay.
Mine's
Name and address, please.
1337 Old River Road. My daughter's crossed over. They almost hit them out how many times already. They don't slow down. They tell us we don't F ourselves. It's pretty bad. I wanted a fist fight one day with the one guy. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come out and whoop you." And I'm like, "You're on our street. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be driving like this." We stepped out. Me and his wife stepped out one day. I was swearing a second pile. This lady was doing at least 70 miles an hour down there. Zoom. We stepped out in front of her and she just went right out around us. I don't know how they make the turn. Still wonder how. But something got to be done. Because when it comes town time, when we got to pull out, we ain't going to be able to pull out our spots. They're going to be hitting us.
All right, well, Chief, you can report back on the 20th and we'll have a further discussion then?
Sure will.
Alright, correspondence. In your packets is a letter from System Design Engineering about a SEO officer, or SEO change.
Correct, it is adds Shannon, so it just adds Shannon Petrillo, her certificate number's on the second page of that, so that is, they have something here, we can motion to approve that on the 20th.
Okay.
In February, so, just want you to have that here for this one to review it, again, she's added to their team, that just gives them some additional depth.
Alright, police, chief.
Okay, good evening, board. First item I have on my agenda under A is, review the revised and updated solicitation ordinance. I sent it via email. Didn't know if the board had any comments, and didn't know what comments I sent along with it, or what you'd like to do. Would you like to either change it, destroy it, move forward with it?
I thought it was good. Did you guys review it?
Other than the format, I think we're heading the right direction, although originally when I maybe asked you to do that, I wasn't expecting a full-blown drafted ordinance. It's not that I don't think you're capable, it's just that I think that that should be handled, meaning your ideas and suggestions are good, but I think that should be handled slightly differently. But, you know, I think we're heading the right direction, and maybe we can talk about it further on 20.
Yeah, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
20.
20, yeah.
What we're talking about is an ordinance that we're trying to get in line to stop or regulate people going around knocking on your doors, selling things, etc. We first had to kind of redo our signage. I think that's been done.
Yes.
And then we want to try and add a little more beef to the ordinance itself, particularly for our older people. You know, we've had all kinds of things from trash companies to replace your roof, to do your driveways. You guys all know the routine. And we want to get some kind of oversight on that. I have a little concern with the police being like the necessarily regulatory authority that his ordinance proposes, but I'm not so sure what the best alternative is to that. You follow me, Chief?
I agree. That's the difficult thing with the ordinances.
Yeah, I really don't like the police to be the initial sole arbiter of that, but we also don't have a full-time code enforcement officer here. So I'm thinking on that.
And I actually thought about that myself, especially specifically with the burning ordinance, you know, looking ahead to that. Okay, so we'll discuss that further. Second, I actually have several motions. They can be made tonight if the board so wishes, or they can be passed on until the 20th. That's up to the board. But either way, I wanted to bring them up this evening for discussion if need be. The first is request a motion to approve high-impact supervision training for Officer Jed Cooper. This training is offered through Penn State at a cost of $549, and also would be the officer's salary involved. This is covered under my budget under 410-422, which is training, so that money is in there. The training would be from April 1st to the 3rd, including the 3rd at North Coventry Township Police Department.
What does that training entail? What's the high impact supervision?
It's basically, it's the foundation of an officer that inspires to be a police supervisor. Supervisory training is something that I honestly would recommend for all my officers, regardless of rank, because it helps them understand why we do the policies we write and things, you know, how we do it or why we do it. So I think it's good for any officer. Officer Cooper had expressed interest in attending, and I think it would be very good for him to attend.
Want a motion on that tonight? Get it over?
I'll make the motion. Make a motion? Yeah, I'll make a motion. We send Officer Cooper to the training for the numbers listed.
I second that.
Alright, a motion and a second. Roll call, Ms. Weinstein,
Yes?
Mr. Gallo, yes. Mr. Miller,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
Thank you, Board, I appreciate that. Next item, we have issued all of our portable radios, so we do not have any spare. Obviously, down further in my agenda, you'll see that we'll be asking the board in the future to consider adding a part-time officer. So in turn, we're in need of one radio. Just so happens that Amity Township has updated their radios, and they're offering their used radios at a good price. They have one left, other agencies purchased what the other ones that were available. So what they're asking for this portable radio is $1,000. I included in my agenda comparable market values. Used, I was finding them all over the place, even on eBay, from $1,100 to $1,500. New, they're, depending on where you go, over $3,000. They are what I would say conservative estimates, because this radio would also come with 4 batteries, charger. So it's honestly a good deal. So the line item that I'm asking for this to be funded from is 387010. What that is, it's a line item when the police department receives very generous donations from community members or businesses. I turn it over to the admin and they put it in that line item. So since I didn't budget for the radio, that's where I want to pull that $1,000 if the board does grant me that.
Chief, is that the same $1,000 that's listed on the bills for approval?
Yes, it is. Yes.
How'd we get it on the bills for approval before the motion?
I actually called down and spoke to fiscal. I brought it up and I said, would you like me to include this now or wait till after it was officially approved? And they said, yeah, give it now and we'll just hold it until it's approved if it's approved. I even noted on the bill that this is pending vote.
Meaning the bill you made with Amity?
Yes, correct. Yeah, that $1,000. They just wanted, I guess, included in the monthly bills, but they said the invoice, I actually noted that, it's pending the approval of the board, just so there was no confusion.
Alright. Motion that tonight?
Why not?
Make a motion.
Yep, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of the used Motorola radios from Amity Township for $1,000.
Let's go. We have a second? I'll second. Alright, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, Ms. Bridenstine.
Yes.
Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Okay, thank you, board. The next motion, Officer Cooper is due up from his year of probationary status. His evaluation was completed by the sergeant. I reviewed it, and we have taken care of that end. Everything is positive, so based on that, I'm gonna request that the board make a motion to remove Officer Jeff Cooper from probationary status to regular officer status.
Anybody like to make that motion?
Sure. I request a motion to remove Officer Jeb Cooper from probationary officer status to full officer status.
We have a second? I'll second. Roll call, Ms. Bridenstine.
Yes.
Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you, board. I have the same motion on the next item for Officer Schlatten to remove him from probationary status. His evaluation was completed and we are where we need to be.
I make the same motion for Officer Schlottman to move him from probationary officer status to officer status.
I'll second
Roll call, Ms. Bridenstine.
Yes.
Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you. But and that is something that obviously I'm going to move forward as well to the 20th meeting, but I just wanted to bring it up because I'd like to actually have an executive session after the meeting is complete at the end. I'm not asking for it now.
Meaning tonight or the 20th?
Tonight to discuss. So I want to hire a part-time officer, which is budgeted under 410-106 at a rate of $30 an hour. And what I want to discuss in the executive session is basically it's a personnel matter, things specific to this candidate. So I would like to discuss that with the board and, like I said, move that line to the next meeting as well. And my final item, sorry for the long agenda this evening. I had forwarded the board 2 policies to review that needed to be added to our operations manual. First one is 1-10, which is the rank of corporal. And the second one is 1-11, which is the rank of detective. And although they are part of the policy manual, our operations manual and our policies what they mostly are is job descriptions, which is pretty much solved. The contract that's being negotiated mentions those positions, so again, I wanted to get out in front and have a policy for those positions if it comes to fruition through the CBA. So what I'm gonna do with that is plan on putting that on the agenda as well on the 20th for approval from the board. But I just wanted to discuss it tonight in case there's any questions, or obviously from now to the 20th, you can have it. If the board would like the solicitor to review them, that's up to the board. Obviously, I have no issue with that. And then the second caveat to that is our operations manual. Our operations manual, I had drafted and it was reviewed by the board at the time and the solicitor, and it went into effect July of 2020. I keep up with it, update policies as needed. However, I chose this year to do a full review of that policy manual. So we'll be doing that internally and just going over the manuals. I just wanted to bring the board up to date on those internal actions. And that's all I have unless the board has any questions for me.
Any questions for Chief? No? Okay.
Thank you, board.
Thank you, Chief. Finance.
Okay, so included in your report of the monthly expenses, as you'll note, we are still waiting on two of those to come in. That's Windstream, and you also note the one the chief mentioned, which is $1,000, but that has now been approved, so we will go and process that. Your treasury report are the profits and loss statements that are included, and you also have the balance sheets in there, which is included in addition to the profit and loss, although not a requirement, it adds to the treasury report. So our agent report is in there, in the back, again for your review. If you have any questions, please let us know between now and our middle of next week so we can address that. And if you don't, if any questions, I can move on to the manager's comment section.
Yeah, anybody have questions or anything around that?
Okay.
Yep.
So then included in your package, the 2024 State Ethics Commission Statement of Financial Interest, that's due by March 31st. I believe the actual case will look beyond that. That gives us some room to make sure that we have everybody's in. I will email that to everyone as well. I want to note that please do not use the online form. Using the online form goes directly to the state. We will not see a copy of that, so that will not be effective for us, and that is for state employees only. So again, we'll email a copy that's full and available, and you can download that.
The actual due date is May 1st.
Correct, sir. Some general information in the packet then for your consideration and discussion. One is general code. I'd like you to take some time to look at that and discuss more fully at our board meeting on our regular meeting on the 20th. General code is a codification service, and one of the things that we're looking at is right now we do not have an online searchable database for our ordinances. This company is part of CoStars, so I believe that they are somebody that we can work with very, very easily. Reviews from other townships. I did reach across and talk to Larry Pearsall. While he's not used it directly as the interim manager over there, I understand from him that his system is well liked. I've used it in working through my parents' estate for Robeson Township. Again, something good. I just like to take a look at the proposal. I believe it's for around $28,000. I do want to follow up to that. One thing that is not in your packet this evening, and I will provide to you later, they have an annual maintenance fee of that. They have 3 tiers to that. One of those is around $600, and it goes up to about $1,200, which is their premium service. So again, we can have a further discussion at our regular meeting on that subject. Also included is just some information on Hometown Press. I believe actually I had an email that went to all of you, is the Board of Supervisors, just giving you some general information regards to Hometown Press, what they do, what they'll actually produce. And I do have some additional copies here if you'd like to take a look at them later. These are examples. This was just a front sheet they did for some time ago, but they produce a newsletter 2-3 times a year. The cost to us is the cost of mailing. So our estimate would be $2,000 to $3,000 a year, and that would be the bulk rate through USPS. Depends on how much we're shipping out or how much we're mailing out. So we're going to have to get some firmer numbers for that for you, but again, roughly $2,000 to $3,000. Fee schedule resolutions also in for your review, and we'll make the motion. I'll ask for the motion on that in the 20th of February. What we realized after we had completed our fee resolution is there are a number of things that have not been on there for a number of years or have fallen off. So we want to make sure they're back in there. I believe the 3 that we have on there right now, let me just take a look at that to make sure I don't miss it. I'll put this here. Head of my finger on it for a moment.
CAT, limited term solicitation and alarm permit.
Correct, sir.
All right.
Those are the three for your review. Thank you.
And we're right after the,
Yeah, I have mine tapped and as usually do. All right, so those are the three that are on there. Again, we'll make the motion to review this. I'm not aware of any others that we have missed at this point in time. Again, we want to catch it up. The other thing that we've done with that, so everybody's aware, is we are adding that. We've actually started building our 2025 fee resolution, so we're capturing those things that were not captured before, adding those to our 2025, so that when we get to 2025, in our reorganization meeting, those are ready to go, so we're not missing things. For the next one, Chief and I have had a brief conversation offline. We'd like to talk to you in executive this evening, along with the subject of the part-time police officer. We want to talk to you about E here, and we'll discuss that further then. And then the last piece I have for you under the manager's comments, 3222 Cloud Road. If you'll recall, this is a property that was at one time a soccer camp. It is now derelict and abandoned. It is in R1, and so we're looking for board guidance on what we might want to do with this property. My understanding from general conversations has been that that property, as the seller of the property has gotten close to sale a couple of times, and yet somehow has not made it through the process. I don't know where the disconnect is. Again, we're looking to see what we can do with it. There's one building left on the property, a very large building, which was, I think, the indoor soccer training center, and then they had a kitchen and some other things there. And there's some small outlying buildings and a swimming pool as well. I do take the codes officer over there. I understand the swimming pool may have water in it, and I understand that's not within code if it does, so we're gonna have to see what we can do to get that filled. Okay, just for your consideration on that. Any questions?
Any questions?
No, I'd like to go see that.
Alright, fire companies. We do have reports in there for review.
Was there a problem with the August minutes that we're reviewing them again?
I'm sorry?
Was there a problem with the August minutes that they're here for review?
How about
There's a
like-
typo in your
A
head
typo.
for section 8. For the August.
Oh, it says August minutes, expenses and reports.
That's a typo.
while we're on that subject, where's the minutes for the January 2nd reorganization?
If that did not occur, would we require minutes for that?
The meeting did occur. The meeting had to occur under the law.
Okay. I'll make sure we correct that.
Mr. Steve, you were still on at the time preparing those minutes. Did you prepare those?
I did.
You sent them to the township?
Yeah.
Did the township forward them to all the supervisors?
I'm not aware if we did or not, to be honest. We'll fix it.
Okay, minutes, expenses and reports. Go over that, Rich, or-
Okay, so outside of that, we'll make that correction there for our regular meeting. The SEO permit report was received, engineer's report received. We did receive your report for Friendship Fire Company. Again, that wasn't quite included here. At least you actually did get it in at the last second, but we'll make sure that's in for the other meeting as well. To have the engineer's report, building code enforcement, and the police report was received.
Already there as well. Planning and engineering, were you have any comments on that? Ryan said he had talked to you.
Yeah, we spoke briefly. He had the 2024 street work, again, that's for your review. Things that we need to have a meeting actually between myself, Ryan, and our public works crew leader And then design road culvert, there's the emergency permit authorization. I believe many of you have seen the updates that I provided to you in pictures. So essentially where we stand with that second one is that the survey work has already been done. It was done, actually, there was a previous application to conduct this work, and it was tabled at some point in time. We're not sure as to why. We're still doing the research on that. And what we're looking for then is to use that survey. We need to update it slightly, and we can then move forward with the emergency permit. Again, we're still looking at probably anywhere between 6 and 8 months till we can actually complete the project, or actually put it out to bid. And then there's also in here, there's a time extension that was, that last minute time extension. It's February 2nd, that was placed before the Planning Commission last week, and that's in here as well.
Okay, any questions on that?
We're on the, item 8, Roman numeral 8, correct?
No.
Or is it?
No,
Planning-
I'm 9.
Planning and engineering.
9.
All right, I missed something as it relates to the sewer report.
Okay.
Are you fellows aware, ladies, aware of the continuing problem on Old River Road with the sewer backing up? It's all over Facebook. Are you aware of that, gentlemen, or not?
Yeah, I posted it.
You posted on Facebook, what did you see?
Every time we have rainwater, the sewer caps at the bridge on Old River Road, past the house, the old house, Beidler House, and the sewer cap at my aunt's is spewing water out, like, looks like a geyser sometimes.
This is the second time within a month, you know, that rain was nothing spectacular. And I think we've got a real problem. The video I showed my colleagues here, I'll figure out what to do with that, but we need to take corrective action here. I do know that it's been in one homeowner's basement, and it's just not acceptable.
I remember a storm a couple of years ago at my aunt's at 1313 at Brownie's house. There was toilet paper and feces along the side of the street.
Do you recall, just by chance, what that was, or Harold, and you might be able to provide some insight to that?
I can provide some enlightenment. The first time that he's talking about where there was toilet paper there was a problem in one of the manholes, and they did a survey and televised it, and discovered it was a breakage in there, so that was repaired. After, when the first storm event earlier this year when the bridge flooded, I actually got a call from Greg Brown, complaining the sewage is back up in his yard. I mean, in his yard and in the house. And I called the operator, and it was probably 10, 11 o'clock at night when he called me. And within 20 minutes, the operator was out there and inspected, made sure all the pumps and everything were working as they were supposed to. So it was, I guess, believed to just be an anomaly. But when this happened the second time now, we're now thinking that the manhole repair may have failed or there's a new problem. So they're scheduling televising the lines in the near future. I don't have a date on it. So to see whether or not that in fact happened.
Is that in our report anywhere, Richard?
No,
Do you think?
No, I don't believe I have that part of the information. If I did, I understand.
So we can discuss more and figure out what.
We'll get something out to you.
Yeah.
Future discussion and action
I
statement.
mean, I own 1421 as well, and I've had a licensed plumber out twice, and my clean out is packed solid with toilet paper. The second time I had him out there, I have a single girl living in that house that's barely ever there. And he said to me, there's no way that her sewage drain is packing toilet paper up the clean out. He says that has to be, and it was when we had rain, he said it has to be from the main sewer line back in the toilet paper up. Because yours might be lower than somebody else.
Yeah, well, on that first storm event, I don't remember exactly, it's 39, maybe 33 or something like that. One of the newer houses that was built facing the road, out on the river on 724, they also complained about backup. But the minute the rain stopped, theirs went down right away.
Anything else, Tim? You're on?
No.
No, okay. Alright, legal matters. So Mr. Orlando.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's nothing on the agenda that we can discuss. I do wanna move forward with two of the emails that I sent the board seeking feedback. So I'm gonna ask that for our regular meeting, we put the zoning amendment that involves the explosive ordinance on our regular meeting agenda. Also I had received communication from a gentleman who was inquiring of the opportunity to install a utility scale solar project in the township. I believe it may be time to have the board review our current zoning ordinance to see whether or not this requires any, whether our ordinances are adequate to address that. So I'll ask that those two things be put on the agenda for the regular meeting. The only other thing I want to mention to the board, and again, I believe the board was copied on it, but the engineer that is working on the Rock Hollow Bridge replacement asked for our help in preparing temporary construction easement, which we did. There's going to be some follow-up there because apparently one of the landowners the property's in an estate. And I'll report more on you, more about that when we have more details. I'm just keeping you in the loop. That's in process. And unless the board has any questions for me, that's my report.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Orlando. Public Works. Anything?
Is there a reason we have nothing from them? Not updates on trucks, snow emergencies and the like?
You can add this in there for the future, sir. I've been putting those out via email with the trucks and other information, so. But I can add that in there as well.
Parks and Rec? Nothing there?
Did not have a meeting, canceled last minute, so it's an advisory board. They should meet here at the end of this month, it'll be their first of their real meeting for the year.
You have any big plans?
We're on a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan and how to make the park more friendly and usable and how to use it more for the people in the township. You know, bring back events, bring back things we can do there, how do you build the excitement around the park again.
We need to get a backstop, is that not?
That is already in the works. That was at least on the park board, I made it very clear it's a dangerous backstop right now, so that is being addressed.
I just noticed when I drive by, there's been tracks of moved from Turkey Hill for a month.
Yeah, we recognize, we saw that today, somebody mentioned that to me today, we're gonna have the crew out there to take care of that. So,
No, you should call Turkey Hill and tell them to come over and get it.
Turkey Hill has done that on occasion, particularly when one of their workers has a break. But it seems like when we get out of the habit of preparing reports and just routinely checking the parks, this is what happens.
So what do they do, take their trash over there?
No,
It
No,
took
Turkey
slow
slow
Hill,
down.
across the street.
Turkey Hill's doors blow open sometimes on their thing, sometimes it's just people. But they have on occasion, being publicly spirited, if you will, you know, on a break, they'll go over and help us. But either way, I don't feel we've been, you know, up to snuff with doing our own housekeeping, if you will.
Alright, EAC.
So two pieces here for the EAC, was Chris, who I know he's not here this evening. I think we can probably waive a motion to approve him as the EAC liaison, which is by his request. I believe that's the 20th, yes?
Yeah.
And then they had a request also, we can leave the 20th, request to plant flowers at the Township building. So, okay. They had some opportunity to do so.
Nothing under new business. Old business.
Okay, under old business, one of the things you asked me to look into is some position descriptions and approval to advertise. Again, we'll do this on the 20th, the actual motion to approve and advertise. Looking at admin assistant, part-time and full-time, also public works crew members, full-time too, and then assistant manager developmental. We've included those in the packet. I believe those also went out ahead of time to you for review. So you've had some opportunity to look at that. Again, we can have a full discussion and determine whether or not we get a motion at the 20th February meeting to approve that.
We can have a discussion now, and my discussion would be that I just don't think an administrative assistant at this particular point is what we need. We had in the budget for a kind of a supervisory position for the public works. Where do we want to do with that?
We have a crew leader, right?
Say that again?
I said we have a crew leader, right? Think that kind of covered it.
We had a specific discussion and money in the budget that we seem to, certainly in my opinion, need some advanced oversight of the crew. So,
Been down that road. Wrong.
I mean, we can have some more discussions about it. I'm not fully sold on it at the moment, but I think we can definitely discuss it a little more, get everybody's input on it, you know?
well, part of the reason, part of the issue with respect to the crew members is, I'm sure the public is aware that we've recently terminated an employee. I don't believe that was handled at all properly. I don't think it was in the best interest of the township. That's the only statement I'm gonna make at this particular point, other than to say I believe that it was not a good situation. That's all I'm gonna say about that for this particular second.
Yes.
No.
Questions, comments, any?
And the board asked me to look at was computers for the supervisors. Looked into that, and so there's actually 4 quotes in here. Those also went out ahead of the meeting for you to review and discuss. I would like then, either tonight or at our 25th meeting, authorization then to go ahead with the purchase of those computers. Based on your guidance, I believe the top one here was just under 4,000. Depending on what your interest may be, work within the budget that you.
That's for 3, correct?
That would be for 3, yes, sir.
You believe that's in line, Mr. Williams?
I do. I believe that's, I looked at them and I think it's, I think they're some good machines and I think they're a fair price, so.
I highlighted before the cost with all 5 supervisors again. I've discussed that before, the overall cost of running a township, smaller township. This is just another example of that. Not that they may not be worth it,
Sure.
but there's certainly a cost involved.
I mean, is there one in particular of these 3 that you?
No, I don't. I don't favor anyone over another one. I recognize their usefulness, but with costs being the way they are, certainly a concern.
The reality is, we don't need anything more than something that basically allows us to do word processing, internet, and email, which is basic. So, nobody needs something that's gonna do gaming, so I think it's within reason. Personally, I have my own computer, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah.
That's the one I thought too.
Yep.
The one that was $690, right?
Yeah, from an IT perspective, we don't need anything more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff is removed, yeah.
Yeah, the extra garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need any of that. You need something that's gonna allow you to access your email through the internet and do word processing. You don't need anything else, or see a spreadsheet. No point in spending money we don't need to spend. Agreed.
Anybody wanna make a motion tonight on these, or
Sure.
for the other one?
Yeah, we're gonna go with make a motion that we accept the bid for the Latitude 7430, which is the least expensive at $690.98, if we have to have our own computers.
This will be the quote, AA5563.
And the total,
Total for all three set up deployed, $2,172.94.
we have a motion on the table, we have a second. All right, I'll second the motion. Roll call, Ms. Bridenstine,
Yes.
Mr. Gallo,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Well, yes, noting the fact of not just the cost of the computer, the ongoing cost of going with 5 supervisors.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And all of you. That's it for all business. Rich, anything else? All right, executive session, I guess we need one, correct? All right, we're gonna break for executive session at 7:47.
Folks, there is YouTube broadcasting as we speak. It's going to continue, at least for now, so there is no expectation of privacy, in my opinion, in this meeting.
Yes.
It's funny, I was gonna stop up with you, but it's not really signed up than I had.
See how they're close.
I got those. Oh, did he? Rob, how's it going? Oh, he
Yeah, just died, just I want 6. You know what irritated me is I got it's 1 after 8.
I don't know what, over 14.
What's going on?
Good, how about you?
Sorry, I was missing the trash. I drive by today going, that's a lot of trash. Like, there's actually like a trash bag. I'm like, there's a trash bag.
You know, the whole 724 looks like a garbage can.
Yeah, it must have been. I'm like, how did this, that's all from Turkey.
Yeah, there was a windstorm a couple of weeks ago. And
Right.
it's all- the doors when your trash picks up, you blow them open and it just blows right across the street.
Right. Because I thought about, I'm involved in scouts. I'm like, that could be a great community project for scouts. Like,
Well, you know, my thing is their trash, come over and get it.
Right, yeah. Well, that's the question. If we volunteer scouts to help out, can we do that? Like, is that like, we can volunteer, right? I know,
No, you can get the, yeah, you can get.
I've thought about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great, you know,
Watch out for liability.
we.
That's what I have to think about, especially with, well, all the scouts are covered under insurance, under scouts. Whenever we do a scout event, it's all under national insurance.
Yeah, I just, go ahead and get a motion and get it from these guys.
Yeah, I gotta check other people first. Before I volunteer them, you can put that,
But, you know, there's been a lot of Eagle Scouts projects done up there.
yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that property on Flower Road?
That's the old, sports kit.
It's up, way up on the hill?
Well, it's halfway up the hill.
Mhm.
On the right hand side, going up.
Yes, so past the church,
Yeah.
and as soon as you take the left-hand curve, as soon as you come out of the left-hand curve and start turning, it's on the left-hand side.
That was Sandusky's at one time.
I looked at it today, I'm like, wow, it's got,
It's a big park.
it's like 12 outbuildings,
Yeah.
a pool, it's like, I didn't know it was.
Well, I mean, yeah, you stayed there. It was a
Yeah.
sports camp, it was an overnight camp, there's a pool, the whole bit there.
How long ago was that active then? Was that active?
Well, some, I don't want to say synagogue, but some Jewish organization from New York had it last. And they were using it up to maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And they had summer camp there, and I don't know how those people stayed there because it looks pretty decrepit.
Yeah.
But they were wandering all over the place. People complained about them wandering in their yards and stuff like that. It's like,
Right.
but active as a sports camp, I would say it pretty much died off. Let's see, when the kids were playing soccer, say it would have been maybe 14, 20 years ago.
I had no clue it was back there, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that's a big chunk of property.
It was a nice, they had a nice indoor arena, you could go in there and play soccer and, but nobody maintained it there.
Right.
What happened with the dynamite building?
Well, that's what he's saying. They're gonna look at the ordinance on Tuesday, I guess.
You know, look at.
Why on earth anybody think that's a good idea is beyond the scope of my imagination.
Me too, I can't believe that.
The person storing the munitions?
Well, yes, yeah.
Explosives that's what we need in the township, right?
Right, but wasn't that,
Holding up explosives.
wasn't that discussed in the previous meeting, already?
Well, it was discussed at a previous meeting and we just decided we weren't doing anything with it.
Right.
And it was brought up again and now they're looking at it.
Okay.
When did this vote happen?
You mean to look at it again?
Joy.
Oh, last meeting.
So this is really gonna be a shit show.
Well, that's all I got to say is the residents of
Shit
Robeson
show.
Township have short memories.
She's only in for a 2-year term, right?
I wonder who's watching this right now.
What's that?
I wonder who's watching this right now. We're still streaming.
Say anything inappropriate, it's like.
Right. Oh, so it's good to see who says what.
We don't have enough participation in this meeting. We don't have enough people coming to see what's going on in the township.
Yeah.
There's been many times, there's like 5 people over here, the same
Right.
5 people.
The worst part is it's true for anything, right? Because like I said, I do scouts. It's hard to get parents to volunteer
Yeah.
to do anything nowadays.
But,
It's a struggle, sports. They're struggling to get people to lead
well,
sports.
part of it, they've killed off volunteers because nobody really appreciates volunteers. Just thankless effort, thankless effort. I actually sat on a board that involved Union Township, and every year I get a letter saying, "Thanks for being on the board." It's a piece of paper, but it's like it was a thing.
Right. Yeah.
And then, sometimes it seems like instead of encouraging, they do what they can to.
Where's Smith time?
I have no idea. But, it's hard to, it really puts it right. If you don't have a sponsor, it's hard to get it done.
Right. I mean, that means like that doesn't mean I'm trying, right? There's lots of
Oh,
things.
no, I.
Like we've actually got and unfortunately, last meeting we had to cancel because somebody had a family emergency. So we're like, you don't, family always comes first no matter what. But, we had some good discussions. Yeah, you've been there. It's just, we've got some good ideas going.
You're terrific. I actually met with a guy who does the 5 and 10-year plans. And, and it was funny, he came out and right away he started pointing out stuff that we should be getting rid of and things we should looking to get. And they were willing to write the plan, at a cost. But there was actually grants at one point to do that.
Rich found him again, so he sent me the link, I'm looking into it right now. So we talked about grants for doing that, and also grants for trailways, right?
Yeah.
Or how do we hook up with Scoop River Trail?
Well, you know, and I had said that at the one meeting,
Mhm.
you know, they should make a path to come over, and then there should also be a path in the playground itself to go around, and then they can use the picnic areas.
Right, yeah.
No, I can say this not often, but I actually see people use those picnic tables along 724.
Yeah, it's a good stopping point for people
Yeah.
that are, people at that transition right there, where it goes from the trail to the road.
I see bicycles and I've seen cars pulled off there.
Yeah.
But the traffic there, I'm not so sure, you know, great idea, but anymore, but.
I got it, so.
Today was a mess on the bypass.
Yeah, I read that somebody was, there was a fatal accident, I thought I read it was fatal.
It was backed up, I sing in the Berks Encore Chorale Choir
Mhm.
at Alsace. And so I was going there, coming back, was just jammed up all the way past West Reading.
Yeah, I think the Eagle said it was I think it was a fatal accident, something
Oh, yeah.
involved. But of course, whenever that happens, they shut everything down, they have to.
Well,
And then there was they were working on, it looks like they were working on the bridge. There's a bridge there, it looks like that's where most of the trucks, where the accident must have been there.
Yeah.
I was in the mess the day the guy jumped off the bridge onto somebody's car.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was smart enough to get off early, but it was a parking lot from that
Yeah.
point, you know, it's like.
You see what happened in Lansdale?
No.
Five people killed
Oh, the house.
with the house on fire,
Yeah, they're saying 6 to 8 now.
6 to 8.
Yeah, 6 to 8 are missing. 6 to 8 are missing.
And they found the 5 bodies of the guys in the helicopter that
Yeah,
crashed.
that's what, I couldn't understand that, because
They said they found the helicopter with no bodies.
that's what I couldn't figure out, I'm like, how do you find a down chopper, like, how
Well,
do you,
I mean, depending on how land they could fly.
right, they could have been thrown out, or they could have been, they all tried to make emergency evacuation.
Wait, no, that wasn't, they didn't net the house, did they?
Oh, the house was on fire.
Oh, how.
Right, that was the one that it was gunfire.
Oh,
So it was they were called to, somebody in the house called for gunfire. When the police got there, they were engaged right, as soon as they walked out, they were engaged in gunfire. So of course they stepped back. And then the theory is, well, somebody in the house just torched it.
Yeah.
Still shooting. So, the classic is, I'm gonna burn the house down and shoot at you guys, so the fire department can't come close.
Yeah.
And it only wasn't, I think it was like an hour or two before they could finally, they made the move to close. It's a shame. But, somebody had it in their mind to go out in the blaze,
yeah,
which is unfortunate.
literally.
Yeah.
This mental health thing is really. Did you see where they convicted that lady for?
Yeah, I saw that.
For what her son did,
Mm-hmm.
killing those 4 kids.
Yeah, I can't remember their name. It's a C, I thought. Yeah, she was involuntary manslaughter.
Yep, she could get up to 60 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she didn't do anything.
Right.
Well, she probably went to get the gun.
She did. 2 days before he went on the rampage.
Yeah.
But they also had all kinds of evidence of he was telling his parents he was seeing visions, he was seeing things in the house.
Why would you do that?
All the flags were there.
Yeah.
All the flags. Which is a shame. It's horrible. I feel so bad for that.
And the guy goes on trial next. He's
He's next because she blamed him. So what's going to be interesting is she pretty much said, I don't handle guns. It's his responsibility. Look what she got. So what do you think he's going to get? If they say, well, she said it was you to do it all, and it's on you.
well, all that's going to do is open up lawsuits.
Well, you know what,
Every
though,
time there's something like that, there's going to be 15 different lawsuits against it.
There's sometimes you have to be a parent.
Mhm.
And sometimes being a parent, telling your kid things they don't wanna hear.
Yeah.
No. Are you crazy? I'm not getting you a gun, you're saying things, Maybe I should get you a better
And
psychiatrist.
even worse, the school let him back in school, even after he wrote the pictures.
Right.
So the school's not clean as a whistle in this either.
Yeah, there's a couple of good lessons learned on that one. Which is, you hate to learn. It's horrible to learn that way.
It's a horrible lesson to have to
Horrible,
learn that
horrible.
way.
And it's just, I feel so bad for all the families involved. Speaking of 724, which bridge is being replaced?
The
The
one in
bridge at
Allegheny Creek.
568.
Allegheny Creek.
Right,
And 724,
is it,
right there at the lake.
is it, so it's just west of the intersection? That one
Yes.
right there?
Yep.
I didn't know they were replaced, well, that's great, I go there all the time.
Well, it's gonna be a big impact because, they're gonna have to really close over a road to that point too, because, they're gonna have to stage. And when they stage, they have to stage so far back from
Mhm.
the bridge abutment. Which means you're not gonna be able to come out
Cause it's
over River.
right there.
Yeah, right, it's
Cause
right
isn't
there.
there, cause at that property, there's a dam right there too.
And what's gonna happen over on Route 10
Mhm.
is when they start building that warehouse for Amazon across from Flying Hills up on the hill.
Mhm.
166 tractor trailers a day gonna go into that warehouse.
Yeah, I thought I read something somewhere where they filmed that project.
Well, there's
It's
two,
in court.
there's two warehouse projects. So there's the big one, that's 5 million square feet, that's already in the works. That's the one farther south, the Flying Hills one, is that, did they rebuild the whole intersection, the lights
Yes.
and
Oh,
everything?
yeah, that was, Mail Shark did that.
Yeah, but now, I read that one is now,
Penske took it to
Holding.
court, because
right,
Bonacorski's is the doctor.
Mhm.
Her son is Penske's lawyer. Because I went to 7 meetings
oh,
covering,
interesting.
because what was happening is, there was a 160-acre piece of property.
Mhm.
Cumru Township had 6 acres they wanted to add to it. The Whitmans had another 6 or 8 acres that they wanted to add to it, which made 185 acres. That was zoned agricultural,
And this is the one up by Flying Hills, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
zoned agricultural.
Mhm.
Well, the board in the executive session came along and they made it light industrial.
Mhm.
The minute they did that, the property went from $2 million to $8 million, and they got a loan from the loan, and Mail Shark and Route 10 Realty went ahead and started doing all the work, because they figured it was a done deal. What they didn't figure is it was gonna take 2 years to get, that there was a challenge that they didn't legally do the zoning right.
Right.
So we went through about 7 meetings with everybody testifying how all the traffic, and I came to this board and I said something to them. I said, you better, because what's gonna happen is 166 trucks, half of them are gonna come off at Green Hills.
Mhm.
And can you imagine what's gonna happen at the Green Hills? They're gonna be parked you have 2 issues, that and then Rehabilitation Hill coming down
Right.
because right now you get a half inch of snow, the tractor trailers aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, my first thought was, who builds a warehouse up top of the hill?
Yeah,
It's just that this is.
It's not the right spot.
Right. Well, but then who paid for the intersection to be redone? Because didn't they?
Mail Shark.
So they paid for that intersection?
Yeah, they went and borrowed money from the bank.
Yeah, because I read it's on hold now, was it somebody put it back on hold, or somebody's now saying,
Well, I think some judge put it on hold.
something happened, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, well, what happened was, after 7 meetings, the Cumru board came out and in 30 seconds voted to continue the project.
Mhm.
Okay, so Penske took it to court and filed an injunction against the engineering firm that's that's in charge of the construction. Now you couple that with what's going on the other end of 10 with the casino, and there's 9 warehouses going in New Morgan.
Mhm.
And New Morgan was developed because it came from Robeson Township, the land came. It's basically 9, I think there's 9 houses or 10 houses in New Morgan that they could get anything through they want.
Mhm.
So they're supposed to be putting 9 warehouses on there.
I read it, I think it's what, 5 million square feet, and all said and done, I think it's 5 million square feet.
It's several million for square feet.
Yeah. Cause
Well, the
Now, the thing that concerns me there is they defoliated everything. Now, Robeson Township gets more influx of water coming down to the stream, which is, we already have problems with Mountain Road flooding.
Mhm.
This is just gonna, exacerbate that problem.
Right,
So,
yeah, I know, cause I do know that it's on PennDOT's schedule to replace that bridge. The Great Bridge is on the schedule to be replaced at some point.
there were also
what do you mean on 10?
Yeah, the one right across from the,
Taylor's Dam?
yeah, no, not, yeah, the one that's got all the lake and the.
Yeah.
Besides,
So it's, because it's a great bridge, they're like, well, the first thing is truck traffic would break it in pieces.
They tried to get they wanted like 15, waivers. One was they didn't wanna do a traffic study. They didn't wanna do anything to deal with the traffic and they wanted to be able to use 3-year-old traffic studies instead of getting a new study with the impact of all the tractor trailers. Now, they were gonna make parking spots for 1,500 employees.
Wow.
And so it was a 750,000 square foot warehouse. And there's just no way for those tractor trailers to get in and out.
Right.
In one of the meetings that goes, well, if anything happens, we can always go down to Lancaster Avenue and get on the bypass on Lancaster Avenue. Can you imagine what that's a zoo now.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the traffic on town is pretty horrendous, and the traffic, accidents at, the expressway entrance here at Green Hills, at that Turkey Hill, there's accidents here a couple a week.
Right, that's why the warehouse is further, I'm like, all right, it's the warehouse, right, I get it, you're close to the highway, that makes sense. Like, that one I get, like, you can't.
The guy that was the smartest was the trucking company that put their distribution center right there on 724.
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion,
Yeah.
because they could come out in
They're right there, yeah.
30 seconds, they could go north, south, east, or west,
Yep.
and done.
Yeah, but you know.
They estimated it's gonna take 23 minutes to get to the turnpike
From the one up in Flying Hills.
from the one in Flying Hills.
Yeah, I think that'll, it sounds like that will just eventually just go away. Is what it sounds like now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the bank will get stuck with because the property will go back down to $2 million instead of $8 million.
Right, but even everything I read says, people said, why there, of all places, why there?
Because Mail Shark owned the property,
Mhm.
and they were gonna put their business there.
Mhm.
Well, they couldn't get they couldn't get anybody to move fast enough. Their business was growing so fast that they went and rented and found another building and bought that, which
Right.
left this 180 acres
Just sitting there.
sitting there.
Right,
And so this was their attempt at trying to salvage whatever it is by selling that property.
yeah. Let's go put in homes, you know? There's always a shortage of homes, so, you know, just something.
Yeah, I mean, overall, now they have it like that, it probably wouldn't be bad for homes, but
Right.
it's a terrible idea, a terrible location for them.
Yeah, the other thing is people in Flying Hills aren't even gonna be able to get out on Route 10.
Right,
And I can't see tractor trailers running down 724 towards Old Dominion. I can't imagine that where the rocks are falling down. It'll be a mess.
Yeah.
Did you find somewhere to go with your bees?
Pardon me?
Did you find somewhere to go with your bees?
Oh, I run back to my house.
Alright, we're back from executive session at 8:08 PM.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman?
Motion to adjourn.
Also moved.
We have a second?
Sure. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah. Hold this one.